Private car ownership used to be central to the idea of personal freedom. However, a growing number of drivers are choosing to subscribe to a car rather than own one themselves. And the maths is very simple. Most cars in Britain spend 96% of their time parked sitting still, according to the RAC Foundation, whereas a car subscription allows you to pay for the motor only when you're using it, whether that's on a month-to-month or a week-to-week basis. To find out why more drivers are switching from ownership to subscriptions, we've come here to Onto to learn from co-founder and CEO Rob Jolly. Looking at the company and the proposition, it seemed to me that it might be perhaps more suitable to urban drivers. Is that right, or is that a bit of a misconception?
I think how people use electric cars varies depending on the region. We have a lot of people who don't have off-road parking in London, and especially with all-inclusive charging, that's very, I guess, attractive to them and means that it makes their life a lot easier. But likewise, people have proven that the cars work if you live in more rural environments as well. So we have a mix of both.
Of course, that's the proposition for private individuals. You also offer a B2B service. Could you tell us a bit more about that, please?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it works in exactly the same way. So whether you're a company wanting to try an EV and sign up for a monthly rolling contract, or a consumer, we offer both to our customers and to businesses. So the business proposition works in very much the same way, other than there is an upfront fee, and that covers your kind of delivery and collection fees. But it's exactly the same proposition. It is trying to get everything included in one monthly fee, and with the flexibility to swap and change cars or end the subscription anytime you choose, especially with the I guess the economic kind of state of things at the moment, and the macro environment. It gives businesses a bit more flexibility and peace of mind.
Do you think that the rise of these kind of car subscription platforms and people looking to chop and change, do you think that points to any sort of wider problems?
I think subscription's an interesting one, because I mean, if you look at today, the kind of makeup of new car sales, 90% of people buy cars on finance. 2/3 of those customers never end up owning that car. They move on to a new lease at the end of their lease. So I mean, this move away from, I guess, traditional ownership, whether it is PCP or PCH, has been happening for a while, and I think subscription is just the next step beyond that, giving more flexibility and kind of looking at things from a total cost of ownership basis rather than just a cost of the lease only. I think the current macro environment, I mean, uncertainty isn't helpful for anyone, so not being locked into a contract is obviously helpful. But I mean, we saw a massive swinging kind of uptake when COVID happened, and flexibility that people needed for travel then, and it hasn't stopped since. It's been growing. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's the current macroeconomic factors that are leading to our growth.
With the ongoing supply chain crisis and semiconductor issues around the world, is that a business concern for you?
I think we've been very fortunate to get a lot of supplier cars and continue to get the supplier cars. I think from everything we're seeing, we're expecting things to start gradually improving really from next year. But we've been very fortunate. I mean, we've grown at 500% through 2021. We're going to more than double our revenue this year again.
What sort of changes are you seeing in the electric car market that might be coming in the next 5 years, say?
We launched 4 and a bit years ago, and back then, I mean, 120 miles was, aside from Teslas, was kind of the competitive position at the range, and now we're seeing most of the cars are coming out with close to a 300-mile range. And that really is pointing to consumers needing flexibility. Do you want to be locked in a 4-year deal where you're still left driving a car with 120 miles range versus the ones that you could get today at 300 miles range? So I think the technology advancement is probably the biggest thing we're seeing.
And do you think that's the key driver here? It's the choice rather than the changes in people's necessities?
I think the biggest thing is people driving cars and realising that it works for them, and that's what we're trying to ultimately do. Whether customers stay with us long term or go and get a car through a different method, once people start driving an EV, they very rarely go back.
After talking to Rob, it's clear that EV subscriptions might not be the perfect solution for everyone. However, there are a growing number of consumers in Britain who do value the sort of flexibility rather than the security that they would get with private car ownership. While EV subscription companies become more popular, it's clear that there will still be a place for private car ownership in Britain and throughout the rest of the world. It seems as though this is more about offering consumers choice rather than deciding for them.